Morning. Today, I want to look at some verses with you from the book of Matthew in the New Testament and Isaiah from the Old Testament. And what we're going to be examining is how God perceives us and the purpose of Christ for coming here, who Christ came on earth to die for. So let's start with Matthew chapter 9, verses 9 through 13. As Jesus passed on from there, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the tax office, and he said to him, "Follow me." So he arose and followed him. Now it happened, as Jesus sat at the table at the house, that behold, many tax collectors and sinners came and sat down with him and his disciples. And when the Pharisees saw it, they said to his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with the tax collectors and sinners?" When Jesus heard that, he said to them, "Those who are well have no need of a physician, but those who are sick. But go and learn what this means. I desire mercy and not sacrifice, for I did not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance." And that's awesome. That's awesome. If you remember back Matthew 11, when we're looking at the "Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden," those verses right there in verse 9 where Jesus saw Matthew and said, "Follow me," it's the same thing. He's calling us to him. He didn't say, "Hey Matthew, what are you doing later on? You want to come with me for a little bit? Do you have any plans?" No. He said, "Follow me." And what did Matthew do? He got up and followed him. God's not just going to call you to him not knowing what you have going on in your life and not having something way better planned out for it. He knows. So in verse 10, we see that Jesus sat at a table in the house, and behold, many tax collectors and sinners came and sat down with him and his disciples. Nobody likes to pay taxes. They especially didn't like it back then. At the time, as I draw a blank, the tax collectors were corrupt people. They were not known for being good people. The sinners, that one's self-explanatory, but the tax collectors, nobody liked these guys. So Jesus sat and he was having food with them. And the Pharisees saw it. The Pharisees are very, very, very important characters in the New Testament. The Pharisees are Jews. In the Old Testament, God had provided laws and rules and regulations for his people to follow. And these people followed the law according to the law, but their hearts were not with God at all. It was about doing the law and condemning people. It was about appearances. It was about performing ceremonies and trying to get something for themselves, to glorify themselves. These people are the people that all throughout Christ's time, when he was out spreading the good news, as he was doing these miracles, these were the people that were going, "Hey, you can't do that. It's Sunday," or "Who gave you permission to forgive sins?" So these guys, I don't want to call them the bad guys. We're all the bad guys. But these guys, they just were not interested in God. They did not have a heart for him whatsoever. And in verse 11, it's interesting. And when the Pharisees saw it, that Christ had sat down and was eating with the tax collectors and the sinners, they asked the disciples, not Jesus, they went to the disciples and said, "Why does your teacher eat with the tax collectors and sinners?" How rude. Jesus is right there. Why don't you ask him yourself? These people were schemers. And verse 12, when Jesus heard that, he said to them, "Those who are well have no need of a physician, but those who are sick." And right there, he's calling them out on their self-righteousness. He says, if you're doing fine and dandy, you don't need to go to the doctor and get a bandage put on. If all is well, you don't need a surgery. I'm not here for the people that are right. I'm not here for the people that are good. I'm here for the people that are dying. I'm here for the people that are dead, which without Christ we all are dead. Not physically, but spiritually. Without Jesus Christ, you are dead. But go and learn what this means. I desire mercy and not sacrifice, for I did not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance. I desire mercy and not sacrifice. Jesus doesn't need us to be performing for him. We don't need to be going to a temple and sacrificing animals as they once did. We don't need to be performing the ordinances that the Old Testament had. Those things in the Old Testament, sacrificing lambs, sacrificing bulls, grain sacrifices, those all were symbolic of the sacrifice Christ was going to make for us, the sacrifice he made once and for all. And it was done. It's already done. And he didn't come here again to call the righteous to repentance. He called the sinners to repentance. Us. And as he said that, he's telling them, hey, if you're good enough, then I'm not here for you. If you think you're good enough, I'm not here for you. I'm here for the sinners. But it was, I think the word I want to say is rhetorical. He knew their hearts, and he knew he wouldn't be able to reason with these people. He didn't have to.